YouTube? Today we are reacting to War Thunder's Forbidden Knowledge Iceberg ASMR to sleep to. So close your eyes and it's time to sleep, guys. It's time to sleep. It's by Zoltan, by the way.
Fully destructible environments were once planned by Gaijin. There's a development video from 2014 that shows footage of Poland being absolutely taken to pieces. It's unclear why this never made it to the game, but performance issues were probably a problem, although I think a more reasonable explanation is the destruction of an entire map just didn't really work with War Thunder's gameplay. In late 2015, we did see Tunisia released with update 1.55, and we saw a fully destructible town. However, it doesn't come close to the destruction in the original video.
The Tunisia map being completely obliterated by PE8 and bombing. So it's completely flat. It's so cool. Dude, we should do that. After this video, we'll do a custom game and we'll level the entire city.
War Thunder used to have a separate client for the Chinese mainland, but was shut down in mid-2022. The server had been going since 2014 and was stuck several updates behind the international client. The client was completely independent from the international
Chinese
players
client,
and
holy
had some
shit.
very strange nation
Wait, what is this? What is this? What flags are these?
flags. Bro, it looks
What
like some
the-
flags that are...
What is this? Chinese
my
land just
phone.
making up flags? Oh wait, that's actually what they did. Wait. I think the Chinese flag... I think the Chinese client actually had just completely made up flags and nations. But they didn't have America, they didn't have Britain, they didn't have France. They just had all completely fictional nations. I'm pretty sure.
odd. On the server, there was some unique stuff, like this Type 59 that was completely gold-plated. Not much is known about it, but we do
That's
know
true.
that it's not a user skin, which meant everybody in a match would be able to
That's
see
true.
your shiny golden arse. It's not clear what was required to unlock this skin, and research on a
That's
Chinese
drip, by the way.
mainland-only server is more than a little tricky. But uniquely on the server, they also had a Type 69 2A that wasn't available to the international clients. For some reason, the Type 69 2A is in the files of the international client, and we can have a look at it, but we can't unlock it. Maybe we'll see the tank one day, but for now, all the vehicle does is cause a little bit of stress.
Have they added it? Have they added this? Did they add the Type 69 2A? Has it been added? Oh, it hasn't. Wow. Wow. You have the 2G and the normal. Interesting.
Test the Copsi and Oxy every time a content creator requests a test drive for the regular Type 69. On the 18th of August 2021, every Xbox player was simultaneously banned from the game. Hundreds of
Based! Ban all the Xbox players. I don't even care. Ban all the Xbox players. Get them out of here. Ban all the console players. Sorry. Hot take.
posts started popping up across social media in varying levels of distress that all of their progress in the game had been reduced to atoms. Redditors and forum members were all trying to figure out what was going on, and it turns out a problem with the Microsoft Store meant that Microsoft had made it look like a bunch of players had reversed the purchase, and when that happens, Gaijin will automatically ban the player to protect themselves from lost revenue. The way the system works is that you get put into negative golden eagles, and when you contact support, they'll simply tell you to repurchase the relevant amount of GE. However, of course, no one had actually reversed the purchase, and Gaijin support was soon overwhelmed. In the end, it only took a few hours for the situation to be resolved, but angry players had already left angry reviews on the Xbox Store, even though it wasn't Gaijin's fault. As some compensation, Gaijin did provide a day of premium to everyone affected. War Thunder AI bots are pretty...
That's so... 1 day of premium for having your account banned. Bruh. Like, make it a week at least. What the hell?
rudimentary ARB score pinatas, but there's been several reports of some very strange players. It's not clear what the end goal is, as Every account I've looked into has been abandoned after not long of playing. Usually the usernames are pretty nonsense, but one of the first examples I saw were these 4 C202s, and they had some pretty interesting usernames themselves. Looking up their player cards, we can see the accounts were created on December 30th, 2020, and within 72 hours of the accounts being created, they had played for 62 hours straight. These accounts have not been banned,
Bot
but
accounts
do seem
operated
to be
by
completely
Chinese
abandoned.
spotters.
Hilariously,
That's so
despite
funny.
quite literally being bots, they still managed to maintain over a 1.2 KD ratio. Part of the appeal of War Thunder events and tournaments is that the rewards are super exclusive, with the promise that they'll never return. One of these tanks is the Excelsior, and if you weren't around to play the event from many years ago, the only way to get the vehicle today is on the Gaijin market, and it's unbelievably expensive. However, with today's sponsor, World of Tanks YouTube, config file in the game files, and fireworks will pop off on whatever date you specify, be it your birthday, your anniversary, or whatever. Fireworks will only go off in the evening from 8 PM to 3 AM local time, but if you want to see them at a different time of day, you can just change your computer time and they'll go off whenever you like. I tested the limits of this and wrote some code to generate a config file that set the fireworks to go off every day, and if for some reason you want this, there's a paste-bin link and instructions in the description. Around the time the game developed into the modern era, parts in FPE increasingly became more and more expensive to research. Frustrated players began spamming.
Do you guys remember back in the day? You remember back in the day when there was there's no free FPE at all. Right now we have one FPE, right? You have one extinguisher, and you can repair mobility. Mobility. So, for example, if your tank is disabled and you detract without extra parts, it can still repair. In the past, if you lost your track without repair kit, you would literally just be sitting in the open until someone killed you. Or if you lit on fire, you would die. But now you have at least one, I guess.
Free parts in FPE in every comment section related to War Thunder across the internet, and the situation reached a boiling point as, while streaming on the official War Thunder channel, community manager Sean reacted in the most tone-deaf way you can imagine.
FPE in parts, free FPE in parts. Like, why not give everybody a free Abrams tank?
Gaijin were eventually forced to do something.
What are you doing, man?
Parts in FPE were made much cheaper, and the game has honestly been a lot better since. Much later, after the situation had died down, Gaijin was smart enough to see the funny side and set up a promotional event that gave out a free Abrams that we all really wanted.
And gave out a free Abrams. Was it like a $75 pack? Wait, this was one of the most expensive packs they released. It was a free Abrams pack, quote unquote. It was like $100. You got the XM1 and 10,000 golden eagles or something like that. Like, this was very far from free. It was not a free Abrams at all.
All you had to do was buy 10k worth of GE.
Oh, there you go. $60.
And you got an XM1 bundled in for free, along with a unique title and decal.
They're free.
And
I don't know if Warframe / Sultan doesn't know what free means. If you're paying money, it's not free, man.
now today, there's even the M1A1 AIM that really is a free Abrams. Modern War Thunder maps are fabrication.
It's free! You just have to pay $60. It's free though!
But the older maps are based on real places and are very accurate to the topography of reality. In a series of Reddit posts made by Blizzbang, you can see how the maps fit into Google Earth and historical aerial reconnaissance photography. I love the fact that the big-ass hangar on the Normandy map is real. Port Novorossiysk is still a functional port on the Black Sea today, and the Kuban map actually shares its land with Port Novo. Of course, I think a lot of people realise places like Berlin are real, but maybe you don't realise that Jungle is real too. In the northern tip of one of the Solomon Islands, you can see that the water is broadly the same shape. The resolution is pretty bad on Google Maps, but it kind of looks like there's even a War Thunder helipad nearby. War Thunder test flights have a dev console that can be accessed by enabling it in the config files. It's super useful for checking out new vehicles and being able to skip takeoff when testing specifics of flight models. There's a bunch of parameters that you can change that you wouldn't be able to edit normally. Of course, it goes without saying that you can only do this in a test flight, and this doesn't work in a multiplayer match. What's interesting is when you teleport super
historically accurate Spitfire. Historically accurate Spitfire, right here.
And this doesn't work in a multiplayer match. What's interesting is when you teleport super high up, you can actually see the curvature of the Earth is modeled in War Thunder. And if this doesn't convince flat earthers, I don't know what will. When you get down to less than 2 crew in War Thunder, you're considered dead. But last man standing is a long forgotten feature of War Thunder that meant when you were down to 1 crew, instead of being knocked out of battle, you were actually able to play with 1 crew. You were given a choice between firing the cannon or driving around. And there was a short delay between switching between seats. Last man standing was frustrating to play with, as I felt like I'd rather just be completely knocked out rather than having to awkwardly swap my crew around, and for some tanks it was super abusable and overpowered. Imagine a King Tiger with only a driver left at 500 meters. If you can't pen the upper front plate, there's not much way you're going to be able to get that last crew member unless you've got a lot of HE, but you couldn't also ignore him because at any moment the gunner could come back. In early 2021,
No, Copsi, why'd you remove this, dude? Copsi, why'd you decide to remove this?
when Gaijin were accused of funding terrorism, there were War Thunder and Crossout sponsorships that appeared on the YouTube channel with the name, well,
крупнокалиберный
that, who made videos around military equipment.
What is
the original
this?
article was a bit of a hit piece and was eventually taken down, but with the Wayback Machine, we can see that their main complaint was the use of Russian vehicles and equipment with possibly suspicious origin. It's tricky for me, your average uninformed Westerner, to really understand what was going on and evaluate if something was fishy, but Gaijin's official response is that other than very large channels, they did not directly sponsor YouTubers and use third-party advertising agencies to handle sponsorships. Ultimately, the agency requested the video was taken down on Gaijin's behalf, and nothing really came of this long term. Golden Eagles are much more expensive on Steam. In the past, it didn't matter where you bought your Golden Eagles, but not too long ago, Steam prices were increased so that Gaijin would still take home the same amount of money even after Valve taken a cut of transactions. In 2019, there's an article from the Gaijin CEO...
It's way more expensive one, yeah. Well, if you buy Golden Eagles, first of all, use my code. Second of all, buy it on the website. Do not buy it through Steam. Steam takes a 30% cut. This is not snail grid. This is Steam taking a huge cut for no reason. Steam takes a 30% cut. You know when you go buy stuff, it says pay through Steam or pay with Steam. When you do that, when you pay through Steam, Steam gets 30% of all the money you spent. So if you buy a pack for $60 through Steam, Steam gets $20 about.
Anton that complained about Steam's lack of marketing tools, so I guess Gaijin aren't too concerned with higher prices on Steam potentially driving people away. In fact, I think that not many people actually realise that Steam have higher prices. The good news is that every Steam user playing War Thunder can simply just use the Gaijin store and still see purchases in-game for much cheaper. And if you keep buying stuff on Steam, you are actually just wasting money. If you want to save even more money though, what you can do is go to the link in the description, copy the link and make a new bookmark in your browser. Paste the link in, call the bookmark the...
What? Do this, but use my code, not his. What the hell? Do this, but use my code, guys. Don't use his code. What the hell?
The Gaijin store, and then every time you want to buy something,
That's crazy, but it doesn't even say it. Doesn't even say it, his code.
just use that bookmark and you'll automatically get my 3% off using my affiliate code. And if you haven't used the code before, you'll get a free decal as well. It's brilliant. There's no reason not to. Make your bookmark immediately. No, but like actually do it. Like why would you not make a bookmark? Because then you get 3% discount like every single time. The vehicle consumable upgrades was a devlog that received so much backlash that Gaijin deleted the announcement post just hours after it went live. Part of
Hey, no, I'm not mad. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Do what decal? Hey, Copsi, are you calling his decal ugly? That's fucked up. That's fucked up. No flame, but mine is better. Just wet. When mine finally comes, it is better. Trust me.
The update were pre-battle training that would give all modifications an upgrade.
Wait, Copsi, have you seen my decal? Are you so inside? Are you so inside Gaijin? You get to preview the decals? Because no one's seen mine except Gaijin.
No.
Should I guess? What? Use your position of power? This will be a video. Already alphabetical. Wait, it's this one? Is that yours? Back to the hangars is yours? That's crazy work. That's crazy work.
And the effect would last for one battle, kind of like an XP booster.
I want that one.
Yeah,
it's not available, guys.
Upgrade package that applies
it's not available,
a permanent
guys.
upgrade to your vehicle.
Save your money and buy my decal.
Weren't too bad, giving 2% boosts, but others were extremely overpowered and pay to win. Fortunately, this never made it to the live build of the game, and Gaijin haven't really mentioned it ever since. The 6 bush pack was a cosmetic controversy for Gaijin, as they allowed players to purchase 6 massive bushes in a bundle for only 500 GE. Gaijin were pretty quick to remove the bushes from.
But I was one of the few people that managed to get this. It was up like a week, right, Copsi? Were you around then? Were you around then when this happened? I remember I got them, and then like a week later they were removed. I only got the one biggest bush pack.
But if you did make the purchase like I did, you were fortunate enough to keep the 6 bush pack you now owned. Hilariously enough, at the time the bushes were new, I just started playing War Thunder maybe a day or two beforehand, and when I saw the bushes for a couple dollars, I thought it would just be funny to buy them as a joke. It turns out, as a result, today I now own a piece of overpowered War Thunder history. The earliest naval premiums in the game are now some of the rarest vehicles ever added to War Thunder. Originally purchasable as a pre-order that gave beta access to Coastal Fleet gameplay, these boats were later discontinued.
Super rare boats, but you'll never play them because, you know, Maver.
You could purchase a Kennedy's PT-109, which is the representation of the ship JFK actually served on during his time in the Navy. For the Russian pre-order, you could pick up the Project 1124 MLRS that had a Katyusha rack instead of a rear turret. And additionally, you could pick up the S204, which was pretty much just a copy and paste S100. The vehicles might return at some point as Golden Eagle premiums, but I think it's unlikely, as War Thunder Naval has changed so much since these.
But wait, this PT-109, is this already... Is this not in the game anymore? PT-109? These are ships. Is it really not in the game anymore? Wow. Wow. PT... Wow! It's the PT boat? Yeah, but it's the There's no PT-109s. Where's the PT-1? There's no PT-109s. It's a PT-103. Yeah, no, it's not visible for me, but I was thinking, like, you know how there's like some... For example, this, right? It's just the same tank as this, except premium. It's same with some of the planes, right? It's like this one. Fatches F2A1. There already is F2A1 in the tech tree, right? But there is no 109 in the tech tree. So it actually is. It actually is rare.
But I think it's unlikely, as War Thunder Naval has changed so much since these were fledgling parts of new tech trees, and it's quite amazing to see how far the game has come since these were added. The development of helicopters in War Thunder has been turbulent, and today we have the PvE Enduring Confrontation game mode. But when Gaijin first added helicopters, the heli game mode also had PvP elements. It was the first time we saw fully modeled
Do you remember this? Oh my god, remember this? When the helicopter had PvP? Oh my god, it was so stupid. You know, the helicopter had PvE or PvP. It was so stuffed. It was so stuffed. Like, swam in. Instantly, there's like 4 K-50s shooting at you. Just and you only have a machine gun. You're in an AH-1Z with 26 rockets and a Gatling gun. And you're fighting Ka-50s shooting at you from 12 kilometers away.
It's controlled by AI, where models had the same details as ground forces, and the game mode used air arcade maps and placed helipads around the maps as capture zones. Painfully slow grind hasn't changed, and while today there's no option of realistic battles, it doesn't really matter, as back then you were pretty much forced to play arcade, as the non-mixed queue took such a long time to find a match. The War Thunder Chinese consultant was a big problem for the Chinese tech tree for a long time. When it comes to finding info on new vehicles, the way it works is Gaijin has consultants from all around the world to help find historical data on vehicles, with a team of volunteers below the consultant to help find and organise various sources. The consultant for China was a chap called Saint, and to put in perspective how quite an excellent of a job he was doing...
Oh god, not this again. Copsi, what was the backstory, Copsi? Wanna hop in, watch that and explain? What's the backstory, dude? Wanna explain who Saint is?
Once they'd had enough of his rubbish, ran a poll on the forums that asked quite a simple question. Are you satisfied with the job Saint is doing? And my guy got absolutely ratioed into the floor.
Oh my god. They were not happy with Saint. They were not happy with Saint, guys. They were not happy with Saint.
With 3,275 votes to get rid of him to only 40 to keep him. The vote was pretty understandable when you read how Sam Tolstoy on Reddit describes that Saint would continually ignore anything that made Chinese vehicles any good, and documents he didn't agree with were conveniently too classified to be used. Meanwhile, when the PGZ was added, he miraculously found documents that were highly classified describing the massive nerf the gun depression needed, despite several contradictory sources being posted by the community. It seems this guy was the quintessential power-tripping moderator stereotype, and Gaijin ultimately removed him from his position, releasing a statement apologising. Some German tanks in the game were removed in 2019 when Gaijin announced that the Maus, Coelian, Panther II and Tiger 105 would be made no longer obtainable. The Coelian, Panther and Tiger 105 didn't exactly exist in their historical configuration that we see in the game, and with a shift towards more modern combat, there was less of a need to fill out the top ranks of German top tier with paper tanks. The Maus was removed for different reasons, more specifically to do with its balance, and the Maus is still obtainable about once a year on Gaijin's birthday when the tank is added to the German tech tree briefly, so if you're looking out for it, you'll be able to obtain it eventually. The Forgotten Ruicat is a SAM that never made it into the game. Gaijin teased the introduction of the South African tech tree in a 2020 Rewind video. The video ended by showing off the ZA-35, Ruicat SPAAM and the Oliphant. Of course, the ZA and the Oliphant have made it to the game today, but we're still missing that spar. Turns out the vehicle never made it past the prototype stage, as it became unnecessary after the withdrawal of the SADF from
I mean, I think it would be a nice addition anyways. I would rather have this. I would rather want this, even though it's just a prototype, instead of copy-paste Strelas.
Go to that. The question, of course, is did Gaijin know that the vehicle was only a prototype when they included it in the Rewind video? The M60 Ariete had a little bit of stabilizer drama. A little after the 7.7 premium medium tank was released with Italian ground forces, the forum nerds dug up some documents that showed the tank never actually had a gun staber historically. Gaijin decided to remove the stabilizer and the vehicle from purchase, but as compensation to folks like me who actually bought the vehicle, we were all offered a 30% discount on the OF40.
Wait, that's a funny way. That's a funny way. That's a funny way to compensate people. Hey, you bought this tank. We nerfed it. As compensation, we will let you spend some more money.
Sadly, since the OF40 has now become a GE premium, my 30% discount is no longer valid. On the X Strike dev server, several new aerobatic smokes appeared available to all players. There were grass clippings, orange sparks, luminous
Wait, what is
smoke,
this?
what looks like some insecticide,
Holy
and
shit.
some blue smoke. At the time, the new
Y'all, the blue smoke is fucking so cool. Look at this.
luminous green smoke, what looks like some insecticide, and some blue smoke. At the time, the New Year smoke had just been added to the game through Twitch drops, so it was assumed that Gaijin were looking to expand the cosmetics available in the game. Many of you will remember the IS-7 event as one of the grindiest events in War Thunder history. Let me introduce you to James. He is a War Thunder player like anyone else who, along with everyone else, wanted to unlock the IS-7. James hadn't the time to grind the event as he was busy looking after his wife, who at the time of the event was unfortunately going through treatment for cancer. He wrote about this on the comments of a marketing post on Gaijin's official page, and surprisingly the official account responded. They explained how a member of the War Thunder team was lost in 2015, and as they understood the importance of family and appreciated him as a player, would very kindly offer that his IS-7 unlock requirements were to be that he cook a nice meal for his family and take a group photo. Obviously Gaijin never publicised the photo, and we don't know if James ever got his IS-7 or what happened. If you're still out there, James, if you're still playing War Thunder, I hope everything works out for the best in the end, and if you ever need someone to play IS-7 with, do let me know. There's been many a game mode of War Thunder's time, and Capture the Flag was once part of War Thunder, and it's pretty much what you'd expect as players play a normal match, except instead of capture zones, the objective is to bring a flag back to a friendly base. I remember playing this a little bit on Poland, where I just zoomed around in the BT5 to capture the flag repeatedly until we won. I hope the game mode comes back at this event at some point soonish, and I'd love to play it on some of the bigger maps like Fulda, Maginot or Ardennes. Initially, the design and progression of War Thunder was rather different. Before late 2013, every single nation had a singular cumulative RP pool, and once you just hit the requirement, you would just unlock every tier of vehicle and then have to purchase them with silver lions. This was long before ground forces were even a twinkle in Gaijin's eye, and each of the tech trees were much smaller in general. When you'd unlock a new tier of vehicles, sometimes you would unlock literally nothing or just a single plane, and other times you would unlock as many as 6. Interestingly, under the old system, there was a cap on how much you could earn from one particular aircraft, so you wouldn't see those people with like 10,000.
Wait, Copsi, do you remember Breakthrough? Should we bring Breakthrough back? The break. That was a fucking scuffed game mode. Oh my god. Breakthrough on Poland, getting spawn camped 11 seconds into the game. Breakthrough was one of the shittiest game modes ever. Holy shit. Wait, you're a plane player. What are you talking about? You don't know what ground force is.
Kills on a single vehicle. Something I wish that was still around today.
Yeah, like the thing that will happen though, people will just drive past the first spawn, and then it will get capped.
Wow, it's a
People
very
will drive
nice.
past the first capture point, right? And then it will get capped. So when the spawns moved, you would already be pre-camping their new spawn. And that was before spawn protection, before spawn detection, all of that. I also have more time in tanks than you. Yeah, but you're a gamer. You're way more of a gamer than me.
was a button to just tell the game to give you a random nation to play. I'd love it if the game could just pick a random vehicle for me to play. I wouldn't even need a bonus reward. It would just be a nice feature to see. It seems Gaijin have a secret space program. The first human orbital spaceflight took place on April 12th, 1961, where the legendary Yuri Gagarin reached a pretty nice height of 169 kilometers into Earth's upper atmosphere. 60 years later, to mark the anniversary of the Vostok 1 rocket, on April 12th, 2021, Gaijin added the rocket to the War Thunder hangar. When you logged in for the first time in a day, you could see and hear the rocket being launched in the background of the hangar.
I actually remember this. I remember this because on the subreddit, there were posts like, I just saw a rocket take off in the hangar. And no one like realized what it was. No one realized what it was connected to. Like 5,000 F-boats. I just saw this rocket take off in the hangar.
Today, you could see and hear the rocket being launched in the background of the hangar. The Ju-52, hidden deep in the game files, is an AI-only vehicle. Thanks to Jaffe Man on Reddit, we know that we can observe this aircraft in the Divide and Conquer single mission. In a 2014 video, we can see the Ju-52 crash into an old version of Kuban, and is the plane that actually carried the documents that created the elusive dynamic D-point objective. The D-point, of course, is an infamous part of War Thunder's quick comm system itself.
Attack the D-point!
And it seems a little redundant to have it in the game. However, the D-point did actually exist. It was this dynamic objective where the Ju-52 would drop off documents and a new strategic point would be created. Capturing the zone didn't do too much other than just remove a chunk of tickets from the enemy team, but they were a decent amount of tickets and could turn the tide of a battle.
Yo, Copsi, why'd you guys remove dynamic capture points? Do you hate fun?
More recently though, we did see the D-point make a return in the 2021 April Fools event where the D, E and F points were capturable. Players on console can lock onto aircraft
Look how scuffed this looks, what the fuck?
behind terrain, and it even works on realistic battles. What's insane is you can simply plug a keyboard and mouse into...
Oh no, why haven't you guys fixed this yet? Or have you? Have you fixed this? Has this been fixed? I remember Bruce Leroy made a video about it. They were pissed off that some guy was cheating. Is this still a thing? It's not a controller thing. It's only for consoles. Doesn't work on PC. You have to be on my console. You can't just plug a controller in. It has to be on the Xbox or PlayStation, I guess.
To your console and have the full access to every advantage a PC player would have while having what is essentially wall hacks on a console. The Kai 10 in War Thunder having what is essentially
I was like locking onto planes.
Console. The Kai 10 in War Thunder is an old biplane that's since been removed in a similar way to the Po 2.
It worked on Peter Frag a week. Oh, okay.
People refer to this plane as the original War Thunder helicopter as it had a bug where the power to weight ratio was above 1. I'm surprised flight model oddities like this don't happen more often, and in this old footage you can see quite how silly the old flight model really was. War Thunder had...
Oh wait. I thought it was a picture. I thought it was a picture, but it's someone flying straight up. And just hovering at 0 kph. What? I thought it was a picture.
Ratio was above 1. I'm surprised flight model oddities like this don't happen more often, and in this old footage you can see quite how silly...
Oh look, it's just sitting. It's literally parked. Where helicopter hover mode before helicopter hover mode.
The old flight model really was. War Thunder had Battle Royale before Fortnite. The special event game mode had a map that got smaller and smaller with unique pickups around the map. There was a med kit to heal your crew, a repair kit to, unsurprisingly, repair damage, with extra FPE charges laying around, and the extremely powerful super artillery, which was an experimental form of artillery that just simply destroyed any enemies within the radius. Initially the game mode had a very small silver lion rewards, but later on Gaijin gave premium packs and unique decorators for those who were able to win many matches. For a while, Gaijin even liked to use Battle Royale on the dev server as a game mode to let players unlock the new content quickly. Some of the profile icons in the game you can see today are actually real people. For example, this is Sabaru Sakai, who was a pilot for the Imperial Japanese Navy during the Second World War. The artwork are
Look how happy he is.
recreations of real photographs, and all of the art is pretty excellent, except Gaijin didn't quite nail Chuck Charles Yeager. Sadly, many of the people who became our beloved profile icons passed before Gaijin had begun work on War Thunder. It's important to remember the sacrifices these men and women who served in the fighting forces of the world made.
Isn't artillery still 75mm shells? I don't know how big it is. But I know I've like survived direct hits many times. Like I've survived direct hits on the turret in my Merkava. Funny ass, to be honest.
And in researching this video, I read of their heroic accolades, which was more than a sobering reminder of the reality that the game we play ever so much is based upon. It makes you wonder what these people, many of whom born before modern computing, would think of War Thunder if they could see it for themselves today.
And that was it. Wow.
If you're sailing...
Very good video, let's see. Through the comments. Download World of Tanks. So this was such a walk through memory lane, actually. There were so many old game modes and features that have been removed that I'd completely forgot my mind. Like the freaking Battle Royale breakthrough. I wish I talked about some of the old April Fool's events. It's a 21-minute video now, so that's what it is. $17.08. Holy shit, do you see the ambient lighting and light scattering? Why is it not the game anymore? It looks so good. There's something about the old Warfare looks, which just feels more better.
Around
What?
in the BT5 to capture the flag repeatedly until we won. I hope the game mode comes back at this event at some point soonish, and I'd love to play it on some of the bigger maps like Fulda, Maginot.
I don't know. No, I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little too good, to be honest. J52 still in the game. What is that? Oh, here's one thing that I didn't mention in the video. Here's one thing he didn't mention in the video. In the past, in ground RB, there was AI tanks. There was AI tanks in ground RB. They would shoot at you with their guns, but they would have like super low penetration. So you would almost never die to them. But they would drive around and like be useless. Do you guys know this? This is like many, many, many years ago. How many years ago is that? Does anyone remember? This is like at least 6 years ago. You could get killed by them very rarely, but they were like, they would constantly shoot you like a fucking bot because that's what they were. I wish I could find the video, but there'd be like panthers and tigers just driving around. And then they see you, then they would start shooting you. But the thing is, since their penetration was like artificially nerfed, they would almost never kill you or penetrate you or do damage. So they would just like mark you for your team over and over. There's no way we're gonna find a video of it though. Maybe if we go Google. War, Thunder, Tanks, AI, Ground, RB. AI tanks in War Thunder. 2016. Operation September 2016. What is this? KV-220 and a Lee. Well, not well. A Grand Mark 1, sorry. Okay, guys. I hope you're asleep. Hello. YouTube viewer, YouTube video watcher. I hope you're sleeping right now. Hope you can sleep, okay? Good night.